Who will be Britain's next Prime Minister? Gabungan Party Sarawak or GPS can win big. And first-timers eager to cast votes. Those are the headlines for tonight. I'm Cheryl Shamato and this is TVS Nightline. British newspapers on Friday, October 21, were frantically speculating whether former Prime Minister Boris Johnson might bid to return to the job he quit in disgrace only 2 months ago, following the departure of Liz Truss. Truss quit on Thursday after only 44 days in office, making her the shortest-serving British Prime Minister ever.
Britain's ruling Conservative Party will select a new leader who will automatically become the Prime Minister in the coming week. Main right-wing tabloids focus on the possibility that Johnson could bid to return to the leadership after he was forced out of power in July after a series of personal scandals. Truss was elected on September 5th, but her government ran into trouble almost immediately after her government's budget caused turmoil in financial markets and led to widespread infighting among the Conservatives.
Gabungan Party Sarawak or GPS Secretary General Datuk Sri Alexander Nantalinggi is confident that GPS will achieve a major victory in G15, maintaining its momentum from its previous performance in the 12th state election.
NANTA added that a big victory in GE15 will contribute to a better political situation and a stable government in this country.
Ya, sebab kita ni belum setahun pun sudah menang besar. Jadi dalam beberapa bulan sudah kerajaan GPS dibentuk selepas kemenangan cemerlang PRN di Sarawak. Wakil-wakil rakyat di Kedun ni, mereka kawan-kawan mereka memang bersama ahli-ahli parlimen memang turun padang, sentiasa di padang. Jadi sebab itu saya yakinlah.
He added that political stability is very important to ensure that development can continue to be implemented throughout the country, especially for rural communities. As such, a big victory will not only ensure the country's political stability, but it is also important for Sarawak to continue with its struggle to regain its rights and privileges as enshrined in the Malaysia Agreement 1963.
Young people have expressed eagerness to cast their votes on 19th November. Thus, the opportunity to vote must be fully utilized to ensure the political stability in the country.
For a young university student, Radin Nasuha, youth must take this opportunity to choose a worthy candidate for the future of the country.
I think it's important is because, it involves the country, it involves us, especially belia, youngsters. You guys need to care about the country, even if you don't know much about politics in the first place. You can always learn about it.
Meanwhile, Irdina Wahida, a student from Selangor, is relatively excited to go home to cast her ballot.
Saya dah plan teruja untuk balik mengundi pada tahun ini.
Two students from Sabah, Aaron Brunner and Muhammad Noor Akram, share their excitement to vote in the 15th general election and hope the elected leader understand the voice of youth, especially in Sabah.
Sebagai pencetus utama, which is PRU 15 pada kali ini, undi 18 telah pun dibuka, which is umur 18 tahun dan ke atas dah boleh mengundi. So harapan saya sebagai belia, saya mengharapkan bahawa semua belia-belia yang berada di sana, mari kita turun mengundi. Inilah masanya untuk kita memilih pemimpin kita agar suara-suara belia juga didengari.
Meanwhile, the approval of the bill in reducing the voting age from 21 to 18 years old surely paves the opportunity for youth voters to decide the democratic system of the nation. Through TVS's survey, we have found as well that youth voters clearly want a stable and steady leadership, especially pertaining issues surrounding the economy. Now here's what they have to say.
Sebagai seorang belia, kami harapkan 3 perkara. Satu, kami mau pemimpin bebas daripada rasuah. Setiap permohonan dinilai secara telus dan profesional. Nombor 2, kami mau pemimpin yang berperanan secara aktif untuk membangunkan belia sama ada daripada segi belajar, bekerja, berniaga atau program-program yang boleh showcase, yang boleh boost talent dan potensi belia yang ada di negeri Sarawak.
Harus tegaslah, harus berwawasan yang banyak membantu belia.
Sekali simok yang ada rasuah, untuk yang jujur, yang berwawasan, and amanah. Ialah paling penting.
Kami mau pemimpin yang jujur dengan yang tunaikan apa yang dah padah dengan rakyat. Pemimpin muda cemerlang.
Kenapa kita mau pemimpin muda?
Sebabnya mungkinnya boleh up to date pergi lebih panjang dengan keadaan-keadaan belia yang semasa.
Harap pemimpin yang akan datang macam ni, berpikiran lebih jauh, olah daya ni si cakap je. Ya tanggungjawablah dengan semua belia-belia.
The Sarawak Civil Service Innovation Convention Awards 2022 aims to recognize innovation products by the Innovative and Creative Circle (ICC). Throughout SCS transformation journey since 2010, a total number of 809 projects have been produced in collaboration with ICC and state government agencies. Now we have our reporter on the ground, Hafizul Muzammil, to tell us more about it. So Hafiz, what was among the insights from the convention?
Thank you, Cheryl. We are currently at the Sarawak Civil Service Innovation Convention Awards 2022, held at Raya Hotel and Convention Centre, in which our Premier, Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tan Opek, has lauded the adoption of innovation by the civil service deemed beneficial. Earlier in his speech, he also announced that there will be strategies in place to harness the full potential of its resources and create numerous revenue streams for Sarawak. Not only that, such innovation that is dearly to us is the Post-COVID-19 Development Strategy 2030 or PCDS 2030, a strategy that was formulated from previous studies based on the data received, and it has been proven other leaders are now seeking advice to emulate Sarawak way on strategizing its costs. This can be given hope to shed among the people of Sarawak. That's all from me, Hafizul Muzammil for TVS. Back to studio.
Thank you, Hafiz. Now on to the next news. Sarawak is set to be the first in Malaysia to introduce an Ombudsman Ordinance. Deputy Minister in Sarawak Premier's Office, Integrity and Ombudsman's Dr. Juanda Jaya said the motion will be moved in the next State Legislative Assembly for approval.
Kita juga mencadangkan kepada pihak kerajaan negeri untuk segera dibawa ke DUN Negeri Sarawak, diwujudkan Ordinance Ombudsman peringkat Negeri Sarawak, yang mana sebagaimana kita ketahui peringkat persekutuan Ordinance seperti ini belum wujud. Yang Amat Berhormat Premier cukup berbangga dengan persediaan kita ke arah memperkenalkan Ordinance Ombudsman Negeri Sarawak. Cuma ada beberapa lagi pengukuhan akan dilakukan melalui sesi perkongsian dengan negara-negara maju seperti negara-negara Skandinavia, Hong Kong, Singapura dan sebagainya yang telah lama wujud akta berkaitan dengan ombudsman di negara berkenaan.
Dr. Juanda said this after paying a courtesy visit to the Premier on Friday. Also present was the State Audit Director Rokia Sahat, who handed over the Auditor General's report book to the Premier. In addition, the Premier also received a courtesy visit from HSBC Bank Malaysia Berhad Vice Chairman Dato' Richard Lee Said Sin and HSBC Bank Malaysia Berhad Group General Manager Dato' Omar Siddiq.
There is still a lack of books written on the culture, traditions and even achievements of the local Dayak community. According to Dayak Cultural Foundation DCF Chairman Dr. Ahmad Douglas Uga Ambas, Foundation is ready to help aspiring Dayak writers to help preserve the rich culture and tradition in written form.
Uga, who is also the state's deputy premier, noted that there are many retired civil servants, including educators and culture experts, who can still contribute. Thus, he urged aspiring writers to contact DCF for assistance in getting their book published. He said this when launching an autobiography on the late Iban educationist Altasans Ali Majang on Friday. In his tribute, Uga described the late Ali as a trailblazer among early Dayak educationists, having served under the Raja Brooke British colonial and the Malaysian government. He said as a trained teacher, he believes in the importance of education, despite his parents who did not share the same vision. Uga said the Tokoh Guru Kebangsaan's struggle and commitment were worthy of emulation by both teachers and parents. The 286-page book is written by his son, Datu Michael Dawi Ali, who is the Chief Registrar of the Native Courts, Sarawak.
Airlines have been urged to review their flight ticket prices in a bid to facilitate the voting process for the upcoming general election. Deputy Premier of Sarawak, Dr. Sim Gui Hian said airline operators should prioritise their responsibility to the country.
I mean, it's very unfortunate that the government, unfortunately, the government doesn't run our own airlines. Yeah, and all these airlines are run by private entities, and all these private people. You know who they are, lah. You know who are the boss of all these private people, and the question is, you ask them why they increase the airfares, and what is the national responsibility.
Adding further, Dr. Sim said besides the responsibility borne by aviation companies, it depends on the elected members of parliament as well to voice out the matter, including the implementation of postal votes.
But then they probably ask you lah, the COVID-19 how? Tengok saja, So I don't know. These are the private enterprise. Unless the government start owning our own airlines, and unless Sarawak government start our own airlines, otherwise something it cannot control. Then it's up to the member of parliaments in the future to talk about postal votes. The postal votes is only for selected countries. Yeah, whether they want to exercise that power to have postal vote in Malaysia or not, it's up to the member of parliaments. I can say, but only. I'm not even a member of parliament.
He said this when met by reporters after the launch of the Deepavali night decorations at the Badangan White Cat statue on Thursday.
Following the announcement on Malaysia's 15 general election or G15, Malaysia Airlines Berhad launched its Jom Balik Mengundi campaign, offering 20% discounted fares to facilitate voters' movement via air transport. The airline in a statement stated that passengers can book their tickets from Thursday, October 20 to November 19 for travel between November 11 and 27th.
The airline will also mount additional 26 flights and upgrade 16 domestic services to wide-body A330 aircraft to accommodate the surge in demand for several routes in Peninsular Malaysia, Sabah and Sarawak. The statement further added that the 20% discount promotion is applicable on all fare categories comprising light, basic and flex for economy class, as well as basic and flex for business class, and available for booking via their website. Meanwhile, Firefly Airlines will offer up to 70 additional flights from Subang and Penang to selected domestic routes from November 17 to 20th, with 24% and 10% discounted fares for jet and ATR-operated flights, respectively. The promotion is available for booking from Thursday until October 24th for travel from November 1st to June 30th next year. Mas Wing's customers traveling from Miri to Mulu, Sandakan to Lahad Datu, and Bintulu to Cebu can book flights starting at 135 ringgit per one-way, all in fares. Previously, the Transport Ministry advised the Malaysian Aviation Commission to set a ceiling price for airline tickets to ensure that voters can exercise their rights without having to bear additional cost. The Election Commission (EC) announced that early polling will be held on November 15, while polling day is on November 19.
Coming up right after the break, Italy's Meloni ready to be Prime Minister and voters to determine Budget 2023's approval. Right here on TVS Nightline, stay tuned. Welcome back to the Nightline. Aims at inspiring more Sarawakian entrepreneurs to tackle local issues with technological solutions, as well as to prepare them with adequate knowledge on the startup ecosystem. Tabung Ekonomi Gagasan Anak Sarawak, or Tegas, through its Tegas Digital Innovation Hub MIRI, is partnering with Curtin Malaysia for the IEEE Innovation Nation Malaysia 2022 Technopreneurship Bootcamp. Held from August 1st till December 17th, it aims to provide a platform for startups and innovators to learn and equip themselves with advanced technical knowledge and business skills. According to Tegas chairman Datuk Len Talif Saleh, said both entities have played a significant role in supporting the program in Sarawak, which accelerates the growth of student-led startups and social enterprises. Len, who is also Deputy Minister of Urban Planning, Land Administration and Environment, added that the program also aligns with the Sarawak government's agenda of creating 1,000 startups and proof-of-concept projects in line with the post-COVID-19 development strategy. 13 teams have been selected for the Sarawak track final pitching, which will be held on December 10, 2022. Additionally, the teams will also be given the opportunity to enter the Malaysia track pitching session, which will be held on December 17, 2022. Prime Minister Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob has advised Barisan Nasional to refrain from resorting to any form of internal sabotage in the 15th general election. Ismail Sabri, who is also UMNO Vice President, said that those who aren't nominated should respect the party's decision with an open heart, as self-sabotage could lead to ill consequences for coalition in the winning seats. He said this at the Solidarity, Stability and Prosperity Program and the launch of Terengganu BN Missionary on Friday. He continued by saying that two things must be maintained to ensure BN wins, which is to avoid any disunity, and that the missionaries must work hard. The Prime Minister hoped that BN would recapture the Hulu Terengganu seat. Hulu Terengganu incumbent Datuk Rosal Wahid won the seat on an UMNO ticket, left the party to join the opposition after GE 14. The approval and implementation of Budget 2023 will depend solely only on the power of voters this November 19th. Prime Minister Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said everything proposed in Budget 2023 would be implemented on the condition that the government under his leadership and the party and coalition that he represented, namely UMNO and Barisan Nasional, could control Putrajaya.
Budget 2023, amounting to 372.3 billion ringgit, tabled on October 7 by the Finance Minister Tengku Datuk Sri Zafrul Tengku Abdul Aziz, was the biggest budget in the country's history, which covered all Malaysians whether in the urban or rural areas. However, the budget had not been approved, hence it could not be implemented just yet. As such, the Prime Minister said that if others were to rule this country, it could not be certain that the projects contained in Budget 2023 could be implemented. The Election Commission has set November 19 for polling in GE 15, early voting on November 15, and nomination of candidates on November 5th.
The Health Ministry expects a slight increase in COVID-19 resurgence due to the emergence of the COVID-19 Omicron subvariant XBB. Health Minister Khairi Jamaluddin calls for calm and vigilance as the situation is under control and there is nothing to be worried about, adding that so far it has not led to an increase in terms of hospital admissions and deaths. It was reported earlier that Singapore's Ministry of Health informed that the number of COVID-19 cases in the country has increased since last month, mainly caused by the Omicron XBB subvariant, with a wave of XBB infections expected to peak in mid-November. Khairi said that though there is the possibility of an increase in cases in Malaysia, for now the ministry has no plans to reinstate any restrictions, including enforcing face masks to be worn.
Buat masa ni saya tidak ada rancangan untuk kembalikan apa-apa sekatan. Singapura juga telah menyatakan bahawa buat masa ni tidak ada rancangan, tetapi Menteri Singapura telah memaklumkan dan juga ada berhubung dengan saya bahawa beliau tidak tolak kemungkinan pelitup muka boleh dikembalikan di Singapura. Untuk di Malaysia belum lagi saya tidak melihat keadaannya membawa kepada keputusan tersebut buat masa ini. Tetapi seperti mana yang saya selalu pesan kepada rakyat Malaysia, fasa peralihan ke endemik ini mesti mengambil kira mutasi virus ini kepada varian yang baru. Kalau datangnya varian yang baru yang tidak dijangkakan sebelum ini, yang mungkin meningkatkan kebolehjangkitan dan juga kesan dan gejala, maka kita kena semak balik. Tapi setakat ini tidak. Tapi kalau kita nak tengok ada peningkatan kes harian, saya rasa akan berlaku.
He told reporters after presenting devices under the Malaysian Family Student Device Program at University Technology Mara, UiTM, Seremban campus on Friday. Meanwhile, he said the MOH has sent a proposed Standard Operating Procedure SOP to the Election Commission for the 15th General Election GE15 and no additional measures or restrictions have been introduced. Thank you for staying with me. And now on to our world affairs. Italy's Giorgia Meloni told Italian President Sergio Mattarella that she is ready to become a prime minister. Meloni said that she could swiftly form a new government despite turmoil within her right-wing coalition. Meloni, who is the head of the Nationalist Brothers of Italy party, alongside her main allies Matteo Salvini and Silvio Berlusconi, met with the president in his office. She told reporters that her party are ready to form the government after she took an unusually short meeting, which lasted barely 15 minutes.
Ovviamente ora le determinazioni del Presidente della Repubblica, che ringraziamo per il suo magistero in un momento così particolare della storia della nazione, e ovviamente già da ora annunciamo che siamo pronti perché vogliamo procedere nel minore tempo possibile. Grazie a tutti, buona giornata.
Meloni is expected to be called to Mattarella's office on a formal request for Meloni to assume the prime minister post, and a new cabinet is likely to be sworn in at the end of the week. Wildfires in Oregon and Washington are blanketing much of America's Pacific Northwest with smoke, choking residents in Seattle, Portland, and other parts of the two states with the worst air in the United States, according to government data. In the Seattle area, home to some 4 million people, the sky was brown and the air was difficult to breathe. On Thursday, October 20, when the sun peeked through it, was orange. The 10 U.S. locations with the worst air quality on Thursday were all in Washington or Oregon, led by Oak Ridge, Oregon, 150 miles southeast of Portland. Oak Ridge's air quality index was 487 in the hazardous category, according to the federal airnow.gov website. On Thursday, Oregon expanded an air quality advisory to cover much of the state, including the Portland metro area, urging people to stay indoors if possible and use filtered ventilation systems or air purifiers. Rain expected on Friday throughout the region was expected to aid firefighting efforts and improve air quality. At least 151 people were killed and 86 injured in fighting in Sudan's Blue Nile state over recent days in a tribal conflict in southeastern Sudan. Dozens of others were injured in the clashes which took place between tribes on Wednesday and Thursday in Blue Nile state, where violence flared up again in July. The clashes are the latest in a wave of tribal violence that has swept across the country despite the signing of a nationwide peace deal 2 years ago. Sudan has been without a functioning government since October 2021, when the military dismissed Prime Minister Abdallah Hamdok's transitional government and declared a state of emergency, a move decreed by political forces as a military coup. Before we end the news tonight, a recent poll on TVS's tweet has shown promising results on should the next appointment of Deputy Prime Minister to be a representative from Sarawak and Sabah. 85% said yes, 4% a no, and 11% as no preference. Now, this is indeed an exciting feat for all. And for more updates on the 15 general election or GE15, follow us on our website at tvstv.my on the latest insights, or on TVS's official Twitter page to participate on our polls. That's all the time we have for TVS Nightline. I'm Cheryl Shaminato. Thank you for watching.